Morning guys, hi and welcome back to the channel. As ever, you can find me over on Instagram at the House of Langford and at Overall Sews. I'm also on Ravelry at Mad X Stitcher. Today is the 3rd of January 2022, which means it's time to look back over December. And I can safely say I have not made very much. Yep, I had planned on making loads of gifts. It's just been one of those times, I guess. Just not really been in the mood for Christmas as such. Did do Vlogmas though. I still have one day to upload, so that will go up shortly. And yeah, all I made was Christmas decorations, and they were pretty much either at the beginning of the month or the end of the month. So anyway, let's have a look at what my plans were for December. So I had planned to finish my second gingerbread man. He still only has 2 arms and 2 legs. I had planned on making a pom-pom wreath in the star shape. Now I started it, which you will have seen from Vlogmas, but I haven't finished it. Yeah, you can see where this is going. So I wanted to finish the pink and grey mittens that I showed you, I think, in November. I started them a while ago. It's got to be November now. Didn't finish those. I wanted to make some decorations for my bay window. That didn't happen at all. And I wanted to not only start but finish the Crochet Society Advent CAL. Over the last 2 years now, we've had an advent calendar, and there has been a pattern that runs alongside it, so you get a part every day, and the idea is that you start on the 1st of December and finish it by Christmas Day. So December 31st saw the end of the Biscorner along. I think there was actually only one entry over on Instagram by Ariana Crochet, so yeah, I might put together a little Biscorner pack for you. But yeah, I did see people mention it and were working on Biscorners, but there weren't any posts on Instagram, sadly, so maybe we'll run it again this year and we'll see how it goes. I am looking forward to working on my Mighty Samurai again this year. I'm going to do 100 days again, so 100 hours. I don't think it will take that many, but that gives me something to work to each day. And rather than just do another 100-day project, it should effectively be 200 hours, 200-day project, but I think we'll just call this 100-day project part 2 and see how we get on with that. Haven't started it as yet, even though we're on the 3rd of January, but I've had a few other little things that I wanted to get finished first, so you'll have to wait till the end of January to see those. Now there are lots of challenges starting pretty much imminently. One is a squirrel along, which I think is going to be run by Laura of Aphis Yarns over on Instagram and within the Midnight Diary Facebook group. Basically, the idea is that if it's an unplanned project and you've just seen it and thought, I'm going to make it, and then make it, or even at the start making it, that gets entered, I think, into the squirrel along. It's the idea of casually wandering through the forest and go, oh, squirrel, oh, squirrel. And then basically making everything. So, yeah, that's that one. We then have, Nella has brought back the Radiant Whip box, so I did this last year as well, at the very beginning of the year, and I finished so many whips from the previous year, so that's what I'm looking to do again for 2022. That runs, I think, until May. you have the Cozy Winter Blanket Along by Starry Eyes Ali over on Instagram, who I also believe is, I can't remember her podcast. I'll find it. Ali is also on YouTube as well. She does a lot of amigurumi. Yeah, so she's one to definitely check out. She does a lot of different projects. So this is the idea that you can start blankets. You don't have to finish them. I think it runs only until the end of Feb sometime. So whips do count as well. If they are less than 50% finished, then you can enter those as well. So I have the Sophie's Universe blanket that needs working on. I think I'm nowhere near halfway through with that. Probably only not even a quarter of the way through with that, based on stitch count. So I'm going to enter that as well and start working on that again. And I'm going to talk to you later about a few others that I want to do too. The last challenge that I've seen so far is called the Maker's Dozen 2022. And the idea is that you make 12 projects or 12 items over the year. So it's one a month. Now, if you've been here a while, you'll know that I make quite a few things each month, but mine tend to be quite small things. I've got quite a few large projects planned this year, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, those are just a few that I thought you might be interested in. They're definitely the ones that I am going to be participating in. And yeah, hopefully you'll join me jumping down another rabbit hole. I know there's a few out there that have already jumped. Over on the Midnight Diary page, we've also been looking at doing a different version of the temperature blanket. So this time doing it as a cross stitch project. Still recording the temperature each day, but instead of crocheting a row or knitting a row or squares or whatever you like to do for your temperature blankets, we're going to be making them into a cross stitch project, whether it's through just straight lines or squares or triangles or in the form of a tree or in the form of a galaxy. There's so many different ways to do a cross stitch sampler for temperatures. So yeah, yet another rabbit hole that we've decided to jump down this year. Right, so I think that might be everything in terms of admin. What I will mention though is that my first official pattern has now gone into the cozy boxes, which were designed and put together by Gemma of the Midnight Diary. So I'll pop some pictures up of that project. I'm really happy with how it turned out, actually. I had this idea in my head and I was like, do you know what? Let's just go with it. And I think I made like 4 before I finally settled on a pattern. I have effectively 3 versions of this pattern in my head still. At the moment, the one for the cozy box is called the Snowflake Beret. I am tempted to redesign as a poinsettia beret. And then there is a third one which will be the Sunburst Beret or Sunshine Beret. Not quite decided on the name for that one yet. It all uses the same starting point, but as you go out through the circle, the pattern changes to accommodate the different symbols, I guess, that I'm looking to include. So that has been made in Gemma's yarn, which is a chunky yarn, and it takes 150 grams. So I'm looking forward, really looking forward to seeing what everyone does with it and how they work it up in Gemma's yarn, because it's going to be amazing. Right, well that means only one thing. It's time to move on to finishes, so FOs. Like I said, not many of them. I have made several decorations. So at the beginning of the year, I made 5 more little Christmas puddings. I showed you loads of these last month, where I'd been making different ones for a little workshop. This is a free pattern from Yarnspirations, and It's just so quick and easy to work up, so simple to make, and I think they're really effective. They're meant to be made flat, but you can see that I've put a little bit of stuffing in there just to give it a bit more shape, really. Yeah, so I made 5 more of these. They are Starcraft gingerbread, Starcraft in the white, King Cole glitz in the cherry, and King Cole glitz in the Christmas green as well. So they've got a little bit of sparkle to them. So I made 5 of those, which are all on the tree behind me. Today is the last day that tree is going to be up, because I am bringing it down today, because it's January now and time for work tomorrow, so need to pack the Christmassy stuff away. So my next make for December was another decoration, but this time it was a llama. I think this was actually sent to me. Either it was sent to me or I picked it up at Hobbycraft or the Range or something. But it is a little kit, Corinne Lapierre little kit. I think you can get these from Trimmets or Groves. I don't know. I think it was sent to me though. So what I have not done is the stitching on his tummy, just because I quite liked him white, and it's double-sided, so it's exactly the same this side as well. I really enjoyed making him. He's super quick to make. I think I did it in an afternoon, and it's just hand embroidery for his little blanket. But yeah, I think he's rather sweet. Like I said, he took me maybe an afternoon to do. Yeah. And I've kept all the patterns as well, so I can make more if I really want to. But maybe I can add some like pom-pom trim or ribbon to his neck as well. We'll see. But yeah, I think you'll probably be seeing more of these in the months to come, I guess. So the last thing that's kind of considered as a finish is yet another decoration. Now, what I did was use the bobble hat, not bauble, the bobble hat tutorial I put up on YouTube last Christmas, so 2020 Christmas, to make these little bobble hats. And then I've added a giant pom-pom at the bottom and a little pom-pom on top. And it's meant to be a Father Christmas, but I cannot find my buttons to put on for his nose. So it looks a bit odd, but it's meant to look like a gonk, like a Santa gonk. I've just used the King Cole glitz in the cherry again for the hat, and the white is actually the Knitting Essentials Sparkly DK, which is from Poundland. So he's nice and sparkly. But yeah, he's not quite finished. He just needs the button nose. And that's pretty much it for what I have finished in December. Now, as I said, I've been working on the Advent blanket. It's not finished because I've made it so big. I've repeated all of the rows. I've mixed up all the colours. And because of that, I haven't finished within the year. But that's fine. However, on the 1st of January, I did put the very last row of what I am calling the very last row before I then move on to the border. So let's see if we can show you. I'm going to show you half because, like I said, I've doubled it, so it's not all going to fit. So the only bit that is actually the same, the exact same as the pattern, are the snowflakes in the middle. So there are 7. I have 3 green and 4 purple. Then as we move out, you can see I've changed the colour. So where these 2 dark pinks should be, that should be one of them, and then the other side should be the other. But I didn't like how one side looked quite nice and bright and the other side looked quite dull, so I did mix up all the colours. I have changed the tree. I didn't like the fact that one set of trees looked like a skeleton tree, so I made a full tree. And I had extra of the bubble gum, which is the green, from last year's Advent CAL, so I've used that to fill in. But I only had like, I think 10 stitches that I needed to do in the extra yarn, so it pretty much covered it. When it came to this section, this is supposed to be jacquard mosaic, so you go backwards and forwards in the same colour without cutting off at the end. But because I was trying to make sure I had enough for the other side and knew that by going backwards and forwards I wouldn't be able to do that, I used the second colour from the other side to alternate. So the yellow should have been on one side and the light biscuity colour should have been on the other side. And I think I ran out down here somewhere. Down here is when I had to join a different ball of the same colour, because one of the previous boxes had the same yarn and the same colours, like a couple of the colours were the same, so I managed to join that in. It is very much slightly brighter, but I don't think it really matters. There's literally that much of this one and one whole row, the last row on the other side, but it doesn't really notice, so that's fine. And then when I moved on to the next section, colour 20 is this sour apple colour, which I have not used because it looks a bit odd and I wasn't sure how that would go with the honeycomb, which is the slightly browner colour. So I didn't include that at all. What I did do though is I had creamy coffee still from last year's Advent, so I used that in the back instead, and I think it worked out quite well. I didn't have enough of the honeycomb to do the very last piece to match this one, so I had diamonds. Again, in the pattern there's supposed to just be triangles, but I wanted diamonds, so but what I found is that when I did the next row, the next colour, they kind of look like baubles, so I'm quite happy with that. I've then again doubled up, used each of the colours to do the same section, repeated. There was plenty of yarn to do that on both sides. This again I've repeated, again it should just be triangles. And then we get to here. There should only be one row of this and it should be the other side, but I've obviously done 4. What you'll notice though, this colour here is not in this year's Advent at all. This is actually watermelon from last year, or just peachy. I think it might be just peachy. Can't remember. It's the second colour from last year, but it went quite nicely as a sort of tonal with the rest of the colours. So yeah. I've just put one row of half trebles all the way across just to finish it off on both ends. I now have to do a border all the way around, and then I'm going to enclose it so that I don't have to cut off and weave in any of these yarn ends, any of these tails. So it is now long enough to cover me, with the central panel going horizontal instead of vertical. So I'm really happy with how it's turned out, and you'll be able to see that finished in January. But that's pretty much it. I did mention earlier that I started the pom-pom wreath, and I still have not got further than this, because it's not really working out how I expected it to. So I'm not sure if I'm going to continue or not. I think what I have in my head is different to what is currently working up here. So I've just used the Knitting Essentials Sparkly Decay from Pound Line just because it's cheaper. The star frame I picked up from John Lewis when I visited Bluewater back in November. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not even half done. So we'll see if I get it done or not, but that's where it's currently at. And I seem to be going all croaky and finally come down with a cold when I go back to work tomorrow, so that's really helpful. Right, so the last thing to show you then is acquisitions for this month, and for once there's not that many. So yeah, as always, I've bought the Perf Collab Club yarn for 2021. It was the last one for this year, in terms of being all based around a similar theme, and the dye has basically been given free reign, and each month they came with a patch from Eris Apple. So I have the last one for 2021, which was from Erica of Debonair Yarns. So the patch has the D on it, and the yarn itself is a really nice light grey with like speckles and patches of these nice bright vibrant colour tones, kind of like rainbow tones, but there's like green, blue, yellow, pink, you get the idea. Again, I've bought one in the DK and one in the 4-ply sock weight, so they're all going to go together, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how these all work together actually and become one thing. So the Perf Collab Club is coming back this year for 2022. We've just finished, they've just finished taking pre-orders for the January one, which is by Marcus of Fiberpunk. And this year, each dyer has chosen a different album cover to dye their yarn inspired by that. And so Marcus has chosen an album by Bjork, which is one of my dad's favourite albums. So I have purchased, I think, at least one skein to try and make something for him. So we'll see how that goes because it's quite bright. So I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone comes up with this month. And the idea is that you don't have to buy every month. You could just buy the ones that you like or the ones that you're interested. It doesn't have to be every single month. But also what it's done for me is opened me up to new dyers throughout the year. So there's quite a few there that I didn't know previously. I've not been able to make it to Perth before, so it's been really nice to just see some different dyers and get to know some more yarn. So moving on then, I have also purchased the full blanket club from Verity of Truly Hooked because it was this amazing fade. It's like a sunset. It goes from yellow at one end all the way through to the deep rich purple tones at the other end, through orange, through pink. Yeah, so I've got all of those. Okay, I think it's 20 different minis, all 10 grams each. So that's going to be really exciting to try and work that out. I just love this sort of tonal. I don't know if you remember, I bought a similar tonal from Castleview Yarns as well. And I dyed yarn this colour. So it just reminds me of really, really nice sunset. And it always makes me smile. So yeah, I clearly have a preference to fades. I have also signed up to this year's blanket club. It's the first blanket club I've signed up to. I'm still getting the monthly minis from Vicky Brown's Designs. Again, I need to change that because I now have 3 months of ombre again. So I've got 150 grams of the ombre. And again, can't remember where I put it. I'm hoping it's in this bag. There's not much left in this bag. So I bought an accessory kit from Bella Coco. It's got a couple of badges in there. One says Crochet Captain. And the other one says, I think it's Stitch Star. Sorry for the rustling. They haven't come out of the packaging yet, obviously. They've got some sewing labels and then a sew on patch as well. So I thought they were quite nice. I also got a couple of stitch markers from Laura of the Lonely Knitter. She hasn't made any clay markers for quite some time. but she made Christmassy ones and I couldn't resist them, so I ordered one of each. So I have one Christmas tree cupcake with the little baubles, and then I have one gingerbread house as well. So I just thought they were really cute, and they're going to be going with the rest of my stitch markers, so I can use those at Christmas time. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what other markers Laura makes this year, because I think she's bringing them back, so it'd be really nice to see. And maybe get some more. Kind of have a thing for stitch markers too now. Oh well. The last thing that I have purchased, actually there's two things. I picked up a bundle, I guess you could say, from the Wool Shed. Is it the Wool Shed? Yeah, the Wool Shed. And it all came with this lovely bag. It has got leopards on it in a jungle. Bright pink. There is also a pocket inside, and it's drawstring. Now there's actually quite a lot of yarn in here. It doesn't look like a very big bag, but actually it fits quite a lot. Now the bundle came with 2 full skeins of yarn, one being Carnival, which I could not resist. I mean, look at the colours. It's like tropical paradise all in a skein of yarn. So this is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It is 4-ply, and it is 400 meters per 100 grams. It came with this one, which is Autumn Tea or Autumn Sea, I think. So it's got these little pops of pink in there. And again, this is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. Again, it's 4-ply, so 400 meters per 100 grams. And there was a pack of minis. These minis are tropical minis. We've got a really nice bright pink, bright yellowy green. This one's got like all the colours in it. This one's more of the pinks and greens. And then we've got a really nice vibrant blue. Again, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 4-ply. But there's 100 grams here, and actually this is 425 meters, not 400 meters of the 5 minis. And I just love the ball bands. They're made of this vellum material, so it's slightly translucent, and it actually feels quite nice. So that was the yarn that came in this bundle. But that's not all. There was also a little bag of stitch markers. So we have like a tropical cocktail in a little jar of a straw. We have a mermaid fin, like fin tail, which is glittery. There is a flamingo, a little pink flamingo. And then there are 2 fruits in here. One is bananas, a little set of bananas, and one is a little watermelon slice. And I just thought that was quite a nice little bundle, and actually it wasn't that expensive either, considering the bag retails around £25. With the yarn, I think it was like £50. That could be really wrong. But yeah, it just makes a really nice bundle, and I thought the colours were really nice and bright, and I'm really looking forward to putting them together in something equally amazing and summery. The last thing then that I purchased was an order from Stationery Geek. Now I think I made this between Christmas and New Year. Oh no, I made it just after Christmas, but it arrived before New Year. So I can show you now. And the reason I've ordered this is because Gemma of the Midnight Diary did a little review for them, and I thought it was such a good idea, and I want to try and be a bit more organised this year, so I felt like this might actually help me. Anyway, first things first, I bought sheets of stickers. There's more than one sheet in here. Can't remember how many. But you've got all different ones. You've got some granny squares at the top. We've got yarn balls. We've got yarn, more yarn balls. We've got a crochet heart. We've got, this one says from a happy hooker. So they're all crochet related. So I thought they would be really cool to put on my makes when I gift them, or I don't know. I just thought they were cool. So I've also therefore picked up, to help me with organising my actual whips, I've got some whip cards. So I can write all the notes about my project on there. I do use Ravelry, but actually writing things down I think helps, because if I fill these in, all I've got to do is copy this into my Ravelry list after I finished it, and it saves so much time rather than going backwards and forwards all the time. And it means that if I've got a certain hook size I'm using, I can write that on here, and I don't have to leave the hooks with projects if I need them for something else. But yeah, I thought that would be a really useful tool. I do have some knitting whip cards, but I don't have that many whips for knitting, so definitely need the crochet ones. And I like the fact that they're two different colours as well. So the crochet ones are more of a pink colour, and I think the knitting ones are more of a purpley blue colour, so I will be able to tell the difference as well, which is even better. But yeah, so now I have to go through all my whips, my long-term whips, I guess, and fill these out for them, so I've got notes with them all the time. One of the other things I got was the stash inventory book. Now I didn't just get one, I got two, purely because I know how much stash I have. There's quite a lot of it, so, and it's not all in one place either, it's kind of darted around my living room, so I figured these have got enough in them, I think, for like 100, maybe 100 balls of yarn. So we'll see. Gemma did mention it on her review, but I can't actually remember off the top of my head. So I bought two, and I'm hoping that over the next couple of months I'll be able to go through my stash and fill this in and see how we get on, and whether I do need to or not. So that's that. The last one I got was my Crochet Project Bible. So what I'm hoping this will do is help me with my design work. I have started designing patterns now. I did some Christmas decorations in November, which you've already seen. And I've done my beret pattern for the cozy box. Again, that's 3 different patterns in that one. So I'm really hoping this will help me move forward with that. It's got some really cool pages in it. It's got a conversions cheat sheet at the front, from US to UK terminology. It's got UK and US symbols and UK US yarn types, which, oh, that's cool. It's got a size guide, so for different hat sizes, blanket sizes, scarves, bits and bobs, which is quite nice. And then you can, there's a gap here so you can put your own product listing in there as well. You've got crochet terms and abbreviations, and then a few pages for notes, which is really useful. And then the rest of the book is a double page spread, and it's basically got all the information you need about your pattern, about the yarn, about the stitches being used, about your hook size. And then on the other side you've got a square page, so whether that's for doodling or for drawing graphs, or drawing out diagrams for patterns as well. So that's going to be really useful for me, because I work both in diagram form and written form. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'm really hoping to be able to bring you some patterns this year, so we'll see. The other thing I got was some new blocking mats from my husband for Christmas, and they come with the blocking pins. I also got some blocking pins from my bestie Emma as part of our Advent as well, so that was really useful. So everything is going to be blocked immaculately for the rest of this year and beyond. Probably won't be, but I can dream, right? So yeah, those are the only really yarny based, crafty based things that I got for Christmas this year. So moving on then, last section, plans for January. I plan on finishing the Crochet CAL because I only have a border left to do. Surely that I am capable of doing for January. Yeah. I need to finish off the pink and grey mittens that I started back in maybe November, which I've already mentioned to you. I literally had one made but no thumb section, and then I had the cuff of another one. So I just need to finish off the other cuff, basically. Finish off the other mitten and put the thumbs on. Won't take me long. It takes an afternoon to make one, so yeah, it's quite durable. But I also have a couple of other things. So I started a dice bag back in, I don't know when, maybe October, maybe November, can't remember. And that needs finishing because now I've got loads of dice. This tray filled with dice, so need somewhere to put them. I have 2 other sets somewhere, and I say somewhere because I can't remember where I put them because I don't know where to put them, so need to find them too. So yeah, need to finish the dice bag, which has been made with cabaret yarn, so it's a bit tricky to work with, but it's looking good, so I don't really mind. I need to work some more on the strawberry lemonade shawl because I've ripped it back twice or 3 times now. I need to just get on with it. I finished the first section, basically. First lace bit, first garter bit. Before I'd got to the second garter bit. Before I realised there was a mistake and had to pull back. So, now that I know, I should be able to get through to at least the second section of garter, so we'll see how we go. But there are a few other things that I need to start. So I mentioned earlier the blanket along, which has been run by Starry Eyes Ali. I have 3 blankets that I want to work on this year. Yes, 3 blankets, I had to count. One is I think it's called All My Favourite Things, which is currently living in my Bumblebee knitting bag, which is this one from Dermals. I've got the yarn in here, just need to actually get on with it. It is a Christmas blanket, but I don't care. So yeah, it is my favourite things, so I want to start that one because I think that's going to be really nice for Christmas next year or this year. I have the crochet along, which is from Simply Crochet magazine, which is the Magic Carpet Throw, which is this one. Again, I've got all the yarn ready to go, just need to actually get on with do it. This one is actually part 3. I do have all of the magazines with each part in, so that's ready to go. I also want to start the Battenberg blanket for my sister using the one with the mini skeins from Castle View Yarns, which is all Friends inspired. So that means just sitting down and making squares. I can do that, right? I can make a few squares a month, or quite a few squares a month actually, in between other projects. But the first one that I want to start this month, because I have wanted to do it since the Kickstarter, is the Wooler Yarn Rookie Cushion. Showed you this back when I bought it. I have the bright neon pink 4-ply yarn to go with it, and the super fat in the rainbow colours. I can't remember what this one's called. So this kit is all ready to go. I just need to sit and do it. Yeah, now I can't get it all back in the bag. So that's my plans for January anyway, to start this, maybe make a start on the blankets. All blankets will go into the make along, so that's 3 entries even if I just start them, because the idea is that you don't need to finish them. So yeah, we'll see, I guess. I think that's everything. Oh, I missed the most important thing. We reached over 350 subscribers before the new year started. So I think it's time for another giveaway. I am going to be doing a 2021 reflection video. So I want you to tell me in the comments below what has been your favourite make over the last year. There's quite a few to choose from. I really like the gingerbread man. I really like Brian. Yeah, I don't know. I've had so many blankets though this year, and actually I've learned a lot this year, so I want to know what your favourite make has been from watching the podcasts this year. So yeah, pop your comments down below. And thank you for following me this year. Thank you for joining me on this crazy ride that is I've done 2 years now of podcasting. I'm in my 3rd year of podcasting, so yeah, thank you for joining me, and hope you like the content at least. I'm gonna be trying to upload some new tutorials this year. I haven't done as many as I wanted to for 2021, mainly because I haven't really been at home. I did loads during lockdown, which was brilliant because it kept me busy, kept my mind working. But yeah, it's back to work tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, thank you for joining me, and here's to 2022 and a new year start. Take care. Bye.